This video is about a heart-shaped rock. It also includes a bit of history and a bit of humanity. If you stick with it, I think you'll enjoy it. The 1929 stock market crash and ensuing depression left the United States facing the greatest economic shock of its history. My parents were part of this generation, and the impact of the economic collapse on them ripples back into my generation, as shown by my economic conservatism and thriftiness. In the early 1930s, 25% of young men were unemployed, and in some areas the unemployment rate was as high as 80%. The Civilian Conservation Corps was formed in 1933 as part of President Roosevelt's New Deal, which also included Social Security, which started in 1935. The CCC had the most favorable rating of any New Deal program among the American public. The initial enrollment was of 250,000 young men, peaking at 1/2 million in 1935. Overall, more than 3 million served in the CCC. Only unmarried young men aged 17 to 25 were initially eligible, and they earned the princely wage of $30 a month, $25 of which was sent home to their family, and $5 of which stayed in their pockets. The CCC also provided food, lodging, training, and medical care, a loan for which many would have worked. That salary is almost $3,000 in today's money, and the pocket cash is about $118 in today's money. Enrollees served for a renewable term of 6 months. The camps were supervised by military reservists and organized along military principles, although no military training was involved. Company 819 built the wall near El Tovar in the years 1934 and 1935. Company 819 started in 1933 with only 36 men, but grew to 200, and work squads had 10 men each with a designated leader. Unmarked and ignored in the wall built by the Civilian Conservation Corps is the heart-shaped rock. It's obviously been manipulated and cut to complete the shape of the heart. People attach all sorts of stories to it, that it was a CCC boy in love with a Harvey girl who lived in the dorms behind, but I don't think any of that's true. There are some interesting stories that have evolved about how the rock was set in the wall, but none of them are supported by fact. A 2014 posting by a tour group claims, quote, "Legend has it that a CCC boy found the stone heart and placed it in the wall as a symbol to his beloved gal who was a concession employee and lived in Coulter Hall." Some have even stretched the story so far as to call it Matrimony Rock and claim the love of a CCC boy for a Harvey girl was forbidden. But none of that is true. And we're here for one grave only. Let's take a look. And here's the one we're looking for. Roy Lemons, a CCC boy. Edna Mary Victoria Chavez Lemons, a Harvey girl. They met here, married, and lived their lives together. CCC boys and Harvey girls were not nuns and knights cloistered in separate castles. Roy and Edna Lemons met on her first night at Grand Canyon at a twice-weekly held dance. They went to movies together at the community building for a dime. They walked the rim and hiked the canyon, spending time together every night she worked as a Harvey girl. If a CCC boy loved a Harvey girl, he didn't have to put a heart-shaped rock in a wall to reach her. All he needed to do was ask her for a dance and to tell her. Second, Roy Lemons, who was in Company 819 when the wall was built, says only 1% to 2% of the CCC boys dated local girls. And he and Edna, in a 1995 interview, recount that of the 3 from their time there, 2 married and 1 divorced, leaving only Roy and Edna Lemons as the young lovers who married for life.
It seemed like there'd be so few gals to go around up there.
There was very few.
I doubt if 1 or 2% of the guys in camp ever really dated local girls. Once in a while, they would date a tourist, that came in. They'd meet him at the dance and maybe date for that night or the next night.
Did the house mother give you lectures about men and about things or the rules of the house?
Oh yeah, especially the three of us that were the youngest one. Oh, they used to be careful. So.
Now, did your friends find boyfriends too?
Oh yeah, we all found boyfriends.
Well,
were they all C's?
Yeah, they were all C's.
Her girlfriend married my friend.
Oh.
So there was a
and they got a divorce within a couple of years, so they're not together. And the other one went together, but they never did marry. She finally married a doctor in Oklahoma.
And Roy Lemons spoke and wrote a lot about his CCC experience, but he never once mentioned the heart-shaped stone. No, it's easy to hang a romantic story on the heart-shaped stone, but it's not true. In fact, the heart-shaped stone represents the spirit of the CCC. Obviously cut and manipulated to emphasize the heart shape. This is the product of some spirited young CCC workers. This isn't one man's work. It was done by an entire crew and approved by a supervisor. They probably said, in 100 years, people will see this and wonder why it's there. The smallest work unit on the wall was 10 men. One of them noticed the shape of the rock. They cut it to emphasize the shape. The crew and the supervisor all agreed it would be a fun project. The chain of command obviously agreed, and the stone was placed prominently in the wall and mortared in. The boys probably laughed and speculated how long the wall would last and what people would think 90 years later. And here we are noticing the heart-shaped stone and speculating about its story just as intended. Hidden surprises like the heart-shaped stone have been called Easter eggs as of late. Even car manufacturers are including Easter eggs in their products, like this smiling spider hidden in the bottom of a cup holder on a Volvo station wagon. I've read a bit about the CCC, including Mr. Lemons's writing and their 1933 yearbook recording the events of that year. One term that comes up repeatedly is spirit. The young men were given a chance, given a degree of freedom, and they possessed a great energy. I mean, they built a tennis court at their Rim encampment and a swimming pool at Phantom Ranch. Spirit and energy abounded. The CCC was ended with the enlistment for World War II, and many of the former enrollees fought, constituting 15% of the armed forces. Mr. Lemons's epitaph on his grave at Grand Canyon is a poem about the transition of CCC workers into soldiers in the hell of war. The youngest members of the CCC would be 101 years old now, and the oldest would be 115. First-hand accounts of the experiences are gone now, but the heart-shaped stone serves as intended, an unmarked tribute to the spirit of the CCC boys.